on the Kansas City Chiefs. This game opened at a pick'em, over under 46.5, but it finished up over 44.5 is your over under, and Kansas City is a 1.5 point favorite at home. What do you think?
Team Bean. You know something? Oh, you know where I'm going. I like. Yeah, and this a lot of it is emotion, not so much because I'm a. You know, I don't know. I kind of have something for the Steelers. I love the whole organization.
Raffle humper.
I know. Admittedly so, but I'm going Pittsburgh in this game. Part of it, I admit, is emotion. I really want to see the matchup of New England and Pittsburgh and Foxborough in the AFC. I think that's a better matchup. I don't know. Something about Kansas City. I don't have any faith in them going there and upsetting that apple cart in New England. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh to win this game. Kansas City is a good football team though, and their defense is very capable of scoring turn. But I think Pittsburgh's offense is really hot right now, and I think it's going to stay that way. I like Pittsburgh to win this one, 27-17.
Pittsburgh, they're so hot right now.
Scorching.
Yeah, you think that they're going to go into Hines and go into Arrowhead and put a little smacking on them?
I think I like Pittsburgh, 27-17.
What do you think, Jack?
Kansas City is a very underrated football team, and I know Pittsburgh is hot. This is one of those, if you had to bet this game, I wouldn't, but for the sake of this podcast, I'll give you my opinion. We all know what Andy Reid does the week after a bye. I don't know if you consider this a bye week for them since they were off last week. I kind of do. He's very, very good. He's a great coach. 31 degrees, ice pellets in the forecast. That's not going to affect neither Alex Smith nor Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger's a little hobbled, but as you mentioned, it could be a little bit of show. I think this is going to be a really, really, really good game. I know Pittsburgh beat Kansas City up pretty heavily. I think it was like 40-14 or something like that during the regular season. When this game is just too close to call, I'm going to stick right on that 1 point, though, and I'm going to say Kansas City pulls this game out 24-23.
Boy, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
I would hope.
It's going to be. These are two very, very, very good teams that are both playing very well.
It's the best matchup of the weekend, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just going to lean on the Chiefs only because they're playing in Kansas City, because that's the loudest stadium in the NFL. That's going to come into play.
One note about Kansas City, though. Tennessee went in there, beat them, and so did the Buccaneers this year. Went into Kansas City with, so they're not unbeatable at home, but I can see where you're coming from, though.
Yeah, but Jameis Winston's in the Hall of Fame.
Just ask everybody that lives in the 727.
Dear God, yeah, everybody here.
And Joey, I agree with you there, but the only thing I will mention to offset what you said is the fact that it's the playoffs, and when the playoffs come around, we see what happens in Seattle, what that 12th man does for Seattle. You've seen it in Pittsburgh this past weekend, and you're going to see it in New England. I'm thinking you're going to see it in Kansas City. But I do say really, really close.
By no means. Am I convinced of my pick? Absolutely not. A lot of it is based. I shouldn't do this, but a lot of it is based on emotion. I really want to see New England and Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship. I really don't want to see Kansas City.
That might be a good game to take that 6 points on a teaser and go both ways, go both sides, because it's going to fall somewhere in the middle.
Maybe so.
Let me just say this: that these two teams didn't meet at all this season. And if they did, then that would have been the first time this year they played.
Mm-hmm.
God, you guys are no fun.
They did play this year.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Who won?
Pittsburgh.
What was the score?
I think it was like 40-14.
Yeah, that's right. You guys are no fun. Well, then that said, I mean, I'll take Pittsburgh 40-14. That game was in Three Rivers on a Sunday night after Pittsburgh got thumped the week before by Miami, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then Pittsburgh came out and laid wood.
Yeah, they came out. Yeah. They came pissed off and angry. Let me just point something out. All kidding aside, have you guys taken notice that all of these games, all of these teams that are remaining, you really have the best coaches in the NFL left standing?
Seems that way.
Yeah, I think without question. Maybe, just maybe, Dan, why do I always have trouble with his name? Dan Quinn in Atlanta is new to this gang, but Pete Carroll's always around. Belichick is who he is. Tomlin, Andy Reid is great. Mike McCarthy's excellent. Jason Garrett is somebody else he's been around.
He got State's Coach of the Year this year.
Yeah, he probably is.
No matter what happens with Dallas.
It does. I'm going to go ahead and reflect a touch on what happened earlier in the season. I don't know that Pittsburgh's going to be able to thump a Kansas City team on the road like that. This Chiefs team is so conservative. They are this typical Andy Reid juggernaut that just do 1 inch at a time. They're changing the world. I don't know that they're as hot as Pittsburgh is. And, Jack, like you said, Kansas City's great coming off a bye. Andy Reid is like 18-1 or something ridiculous off a bye. Is that right?
Yes.
Or am I okay? Like 79% of percentages are made up on the spot, and I
agree. That's not a useless stat. That means something.
That does mean something. He prepares better than anyone else. I am with you in this one, Joe. That I do think that if it's Kansas City, New England in the AFC Championship game, that we might be missing something. So I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the upset on the road. I'm going to take the Steelers plus the points at 1.5. But Pittsburgh's going to win this game outright, 19-17. Under.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you think of that? I hadn't been right in a while. Let's find out. To the grand finale, the crescendo, the cherry on top, this Sunday afternoon. Hopefully I am sober enough to get through the second half. Green Bay Packers travel to Big D, take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are a 4.5-point home favorite. Over-under here is pretty steep, 52.5. Line movement on this one is not available right now. You got line movement on that one, Jack?
No.
I got
4.5 Dallas. This is a tough one.
Yeah, it is. Whoever wants it, go for it. I'll be looking for that line movement.
All right, I'll take it, man. This is that hot tea kettle game, though. I must say, don't touch it. Just enjoy it. Just like I said with the Giants and the Packers last week. It's really the same mold. It's kind of the same. That 4:30 Sunday game with the Packers, same identical line at 4.5. Imagine that.
Yeah, and the odd on that note, it hasn't moved. It opened up at 4.5. It slid to 4.5 for a couple different.
You're going to have so many people torn on this. If you're going to have even money, probably on both sides. I got to favor the Dallas.
Sorry,
I got to favor the Dallas Cowboys.
Two most public teams in the history of public teams.
No kidding. So huge fan bases. This is a very, very, very good matchup at 4:30 on Sunday. Like I said, two huge fan bases. The Cowboys very interesting with Dak Prescott and the crew playing really well. And then because they're the Cowboys in Jerry World, that stadium, that huge playpen of a stadium, you got Aaron Rodgers playing like he is. I hate to say it. I hate to go against my man Aaron Rodgers. I really do. But without Jordy Nelson, that hurts. That really hurts against the team.
Yeah, that changed my view too.
Yeah, with Jordy Nelson, I would take Green Bay and win this game, but I can't without Jordy. As much as I hate this, I don't like the Cowboys for anything, but I say the Cowboys are going to win this game 27-20.
27-20 in Big D. Dallas wins and covers.
Okay. Well, Joey, you're pretty close because the computer picks it 28-20, Dallas.
Sure.
So you're on to something. Me, I look at the two quarterbacks in this game, and I look at Aaron Rodgers, and we all know what Aaron Rodgers can do. He was masterful last weekend. Dak Prescott's making his first start in a playoff as a rookie quarterback. I don't have much faith in Dak Prescott as a rookie quarterback in his first NFL playoff game. He's had a very good year. He's done a very good job with that team, obviously, directing them and not making crucial mistakes. I don't know if he can get into a shootout with Aaron Rodgers, though.
I don't think he's going to, man. I think Cowboys are going to play in the pound. They're going to pound Zeke behind the offensive line, keep him off the field.
Well, that's what they're going to attempt to do. You're right about that. I just think Green Bay has won, I don't know what, 7 in a row now.
7 straight.
Something like that.
Yep.
They're a little bit more long in the tooth, I think. They've been there before. Dallas hasn't been in the playoffs for a while. I'm going to go Green Bay. I just have too much faith in Aaron Rodgers. He's too hot right now. He's probably the league MVP. I can't think of anyone else that would be more deserving. Maybe Mr. Brady, but I'm going to go Green Bay. Green Bay's averaged about 30 points a game over the last 7 weeks, also. So that kind of makes that spread, that 52.5, attainable. I'm going to go over, and I'm going to say Green Bay puts a 30-bagger on Dallas. I think they win 31-27.
I hope you're right.
God.
I hope you're right.
What I'm going to say now, Pepper.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're right. Green Bay's been red hot. 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games. They've been an over machine. They've been over in their last 5 games. Dallas isn't too far behind them on that. Their totals have actually gone under 4 out of their last 5, but I got Green Bay winning this game 31-27 as well. I do think that the obvious procedure here for the Dallas Cowboys is very simple. Shorten the game. Eat up the clock. Do not give Aaron Rodgers an opportunity to beat you. But let's point something out here last week. A New York Giants team travels to Lambeau, a Giants team that cannot run the football. 7-6 with like 6 seconds left in the first half, and Rodgers drops one in the bucket to Randall Cobb to go up 14-6.
Is he not the best you've ever seen at doing that?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty special for sure, but that gives you some momentum going into the half. It's kind of like one quick punch right before the bell that rattles somebody. So you definitely have the 20-minute halftime delay to go in there and recompose yourself if you're the Giants. But then when Green Bay comes back out and just starts slinging, I think that Rodgers and the Packers have to be ultimately the aggressor offensively. They have to score. They have to keep their defense resting. Weather won't be an issue here in Big D at all. But if Dallas can get the old Zeke machine, the Zeke train running, then that's a problem for Green Bay because this defensive line in Green Bay, this defense altogether is not very good. They haven't stopped anybody on the ground all year. They can potentially get run over, and if Zeke does take over a game, it's trouble. But if you're all right, if they have to get into a shootout and a gunfight in the OK Corral with Aaron Rodgers, you're in all kinds of trouble because he's spraying everybody down. I think Green Bay pulls off the upset. They end this reign of terror from the Dallas Cowboys, and Green Bay wins at 31-27.
Only one guy. I hope you're both right.
Only one guy I've actually seen do it better than Aaron Rodgers over the course of the last handful of years, and that would be Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite.
El Canyo.
Aaron Rodgers actually could probably throw it over those mountains over there.
Yeah.
So could Rico.
Rico was the man.
Rico had that. I mean, you guys got to appreciate that little sidearm sling that he's got. I mean, that's reminiscent of when Rich Gannon used to play in Gruden's West Coast.
How many Uncle Ricos do you all know out there?
I know one. I actually do know an Uncle Henry, yeah. He prefers to go by Rico.
I would, too.
Yeah.
Well, I knew a guy named Mike who preferred to go by Dick. Seriously, I never understood that. My name is Mike. Call me Dick.
Maybe he's a dick. Maybe was he there drinking everybody's booze and?
Why would you want somebody to call you Dick? Call me Dick. Okay. Nice
all
short.
Right,
Dick. You ride that 10-speed here?
I don't know.
But so there you have it, folks. That's Week 19, if you will, the divisional round pick'em. There's some coaching hirings. Does anybody give a shit or no?
I saw Sean McDermott got hired today.
Sean McDermott in not Carolina, but in Buffalo. He's from
Buffalo.
Carolina.
He was the Carolina Panthers defensive coordinator, Sean McDermott.
Sure was. Sean McDermott in Buffalo. I mean, I don't know. Carolina didn't really necessarily have a good defense this year. They sure hell did the year before, but not so much this year.
No.
We'll see.
I know he was a hot name. He was on that list of folks that people wanted to talk about, and I'm sure he'll probably have his opportunity there. But again, I don't love how these teams bring in. You're a bad team. You're the Buffalo Bills. You haven't been to the playoffs in what? Is it 15 years?
Yeah.
17 years? Something ridiculous.
One of the Buffalo Bills' many
coaches.
Yeah. One of the Buffalo Bills' many exes went to Jacksonville.
Say that again. Oh, Doug Marrone.
Yeah, one of the Bills' many exes.
Yeah, They know it. It was Doug Marrone, and you know what? I thought Doug Marrone was actually onto something in Buffalo, and they fired him because he didn't get along with the schools. This whole coaching not getting along with management after a while, Rex